describing. So let's get through this pick ban phase. So what do you guys think about this? So Royal's going to ban 2 top laners and Alistar. So they're obviously targeting Duke's champion pool. I think the Trundle pick here is going to be effective. You need to ban Alistar from Wolf. Bans on the other side are Azir. We know how good Xiaohu is on that champion. Nobody wants to play against Wush's Twitch, probably for lack of practice rather than actual strength, although he's been pretty good on it. And then, of course, the Rise getting taken out right away.
I don't know about the Rise. Like, Rise is obviously really powerful, and Faker hasn't wanted to show the Cassiopeia this tournament, which was his pick into Rise before. The thing is, you still give Xiaohu a comfort pick. Right? He's still a great LeBlanc player, and obviously more generally on the draft, this was a real head-scratcher from SKT. You know, we all kind of had the same prediction. I know we all said 3-1 SKT. Yep. Again, you have to give Korea that advantage when it comes to preparation. They finally got those days off. We talked about how SKT was an adapting team, not an innovating team, so everything pointed towards them coming back, but then they give us this lump of shit, basically.
Yeah, and I like the Sivir first pick because that is a power pick right now, but I don't know, Seraph, since the Poppy nerfs, what do you think about Poppy in lane?
Poppy? To be fair, like, he doesn't... I think the damage nerf is not that critical because they buffed the max health damage, so I think it's fine. But the problem is like they nerfed the E range, so it's more critical as team fight, but laning is like just okay. I think it's like not that big deal.
Even against Trundle?
It's still hard, but well, the best of the benefits Korean top laner in that, I mean the LCK top laners is they just don't care about too much the matchups because they have really good skills, so they always can even the lane. So I think SKT might be like trusted Duke.
Well, that was a mistake this game.
Yeah.
But in any case, all right, so interesting about the Poppy nerfs because we're obviously on a new patch than we played on the playoffs for these regions.
It's worth knowing that Poppy still does the same thing in team fights.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Like, that hasn't changed. So the rest of it, though, see, my problem with this composition coming from SKT is that they sort of picked themselves into 3 losing lanes. And what we can say is that going with the LeBlanc and the Trundle, having that Trundle split push is really powerful in the mid and late game, even in the early game in this case, because Duke makes a lot of mistakes. And as for like Sivir Soraka versus Braum Lucian, like that's not a great time for you. But my big problem with this team composition is that they only have one form of wave clear, which is Sivir. So if the Trundle gets rolling, which we will see he will, if Sivir wants to be in the mid lane and the mid game wave clearing, and they don't have any wave clear to stop the Trundle. So if the Trundle starts to get snowballed, you can't stop him, basically. There's nobody you can put in that lane because you're not going to put Sivir in that lane and actually wave clear effectively. So in a way, you have to like put pressure on early. But my other problem is, so I would like this composition a lot better if it was an Elise instead of the Graves in the jungle for SKT, because you'd have some kill pressure with the Fizz or with the Poppy in the solo lanes, but with Graves, the idea is just to farm, and you have a weaker early jungle matchup. So if you start to get rolled, like you can't really stop the snowball very easily.
I mean, what does the comp do well is kind of the question, right? It's got double teleport. Fizz is obviously very strong splitting. So is Trundle, and Trundle honestly can kind of just build armor this game and deal with the Fizz because Fizz is more burst. Like it does, so it doesn't really out split push, doesn't really out team fight. There's definitely a siege element to the RNG side, and then the initiation is kind of Poppy and maybe popping a Sivir ult. They don't have a lot of lockdown CC. So in terms of what it does well, there's not really many answers, given that to justify losing that many lanes, you'd expect some sort of upside in the late game. So it's just kind of sad times.
Seraph, would you rather play Sivir or Trundle in this game with these team comps? Or not Sivir, I mean Poppy, sorry.
Poppy or,
like probably Trundle.
Seraph
like
likes
if I Poppy, like it's gonna be really like, especially when they have Braum or LeBlanc, because they can really easily lock down the Poppy. So like when Poppy is going in, they just insta stun me and I get like losing half HP instantly.
And you have to be you're the only form of initiation. So a lot of people will wonder like why I don't like Soraka. Well, I think Soraka is not great in lane, number one.
Yeah.
And I think also that in a carry jungle meta, so in most previous metas in League of Legends, junglers were initiators. They could engage, right? So you have to, in this meta, it's much more critical to have your engage on your support. So when you play a support like Soraka, you just kind of give yourself fewer options. And it works, if, as we'll see in later games, if you're playing, like, if you have a dragon lead and you're forcing them to fight you and you can kite, it's good. But it's kind of single, there's only one way you can play the game with Soraka. So if you start to fall behind and you need to force team fights, and like Seraph said, your Poppy is unable to engage, you kind of just get screwed.
I mean, you're losing lanes into a pick comp. You're not really expecting to get any dragons because there should be significant map pressure. There's just problems upon problems. So, it just, how did they get to this point? Because honestly, the first round of the draft, Sivir Poppy is very solid in terms of the start of a draft. Like, I can understand you might think they're reaching for Poppy, but Duke's best champion, especially in the finals, was Poppy.
I don't see. I think people like say. I think it was overemphasized during this game that the Poppy is bad. I don't think the Poppy is bad. I think that Poppy with Graves and Soraka is bad, and Fizz. Like, I think the combination is bad, not necessarily that it's inherently bad. But
and when the enemy team sets up for a siege, what exactly do? You pop the Sivir ult, and maybe you double flank from different places with Poppy and Fizz. You miss the Fizz ult, you're done. Like,
yeah. All right, so let's actually get into the game now. I'm going to turn off text-to-speech so the VOD isn't ruined for you guys.
It'll be on again later. Thank you for the donations.
See if I can fix this.
Susie's going to fix something.
It's what she does best. She's a fixer, that one.
But she's not KT's former support, so...
What's he up to?
I think he's a free agent.
I remembered that he existed when I rewatched the Champions Summer intro.
Guys, make sure you treat Seraph okay here. We don't want him to be abused in a
That's true.
unsafe environment.
All right.
Okay.
I'm safe.
Everybody don't worry, Seraph is safe.
For now.
He is having a beer, but that's not a violation. He's on vacation. He's pulling a G2 right now. So we're just going to skip forward here.
Ooh, Thunderlords. Ah, yes, the Wei Shan meme.
Wei Shan. So, sir, we learned last week that Wei Shan means danger in Chinese.
Oh,
so we've been saying it a lot. Because Mata has to say that a lot. Wei Shan, Wei Shan, Wei Shan! So, again, SKT is going to go for deep wards. They really, 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 really don't want standard lanes. So, SKT never went for these deep wards during the season again. They only started doing this when they got to MSI.
Wolf played his first professional game of Soraka at this tournament.
Yeah.
Ever. This is a Sona main back in the day, but never played Soraka.
Yeah.
I like how NA innovated the meta.
Did they?
Yep.
They didn't... Okay.
Did you see the support picks this series?
Papa, they were picking Soraka when Alistar was banned. That's the main difference. People
What
like to
so
ignore
what
that.
I hear from you is that they were picking Soraka before it was cool.
Before they learned that Alistar was a ban-worthy support, yes, they were. So as when we've seen a huge number of support bans this tournament, yes, Soraka has been.
How do you feel about Soraka, Seraph, as a champion?
I'm just surprised because we'll play the Soraka in MSI first time. Because to be honest, Soraka is really, really bad for like vision control or like that skirmish. Because Soraka, the lockdown is really bad because he has like Alistar has double Q, Brawl Stone, but Soraka only has like silence, like a little bit silence. So it's not that good for the vision control or like baiting, like sitting on their jungler in jungle. So SKT and including their all LCK team, they're really like they're really like heavy vision control or something. But NA, they're more focused on the laning. So NA usually pick Janna and Soraka like so many times. So I think Soraka pick is like really surprising.
There was some stat, I don't know if it was this season or last season, where the 10th placed LCK team had placed more wards than like they would have been second in NA or something in terms of wards placed.
Well, what I said, I actually tweeted out the statistic earlier in the season. So Ku Tigers had the lowest wards per minute. They put the fewest wards down in the whole league in Korea this season. And I think they would have been third in NA for wards. And the worst or the best team in NA, which was, I think it was Immortals who had the most wards. I don't remember though.
Adrian always had really high WPM.
Yeah, I think it was Immortals, but I don't remember.
Which
right.
is strange because he plays Soraka. But,
But they would have been 8th place in Korea in wards per minute. So, like, statistically, we can say that NA does not ward. I don't. By the way, guys, I tweeted that like 2/3 of the way through the season, so I could check for you. Maybe I'll do that after this game.
Peanut bought a Trackers Knife one game. So
I know, it was amazing.
It throws off your averages. Sorry, that might have been in playoffs, so maybe it's okay.
All right, so let's talk about this. So we see. So basically, Mata and Woosh play this really well because they don't show on the wards until a minute 30, which is still enough time for them to go to the Krug camp. So they've read the situation. They read the level 1 invade. They're going to see 2 people go in, and it's too late, right, for any kind of skirmish. But at the same time, this is kind of a disaster because they're going to take small Krug right here. And Soraka at level 1 is going to do what exactly to stop
Poked
this?
the big Krug. Worth noting that this was too late for them to swap, obviously.
Yeah, too late for them to swap, and they couldn't stop it because Soraka is a trash can at level 1. And now they're in the situation where they're going to be behind at XP in a losing lane. So this is obviously super bad for SKT. They...
Have you noticed that Bango's Warlords as well?
We saw some Warlords. We saw the Warlords later in the series on Tristana.
I mean,
from
Warlords
Woosh,
with
too.
Soraka's almost... I guess it's because you have abysmal laning matchup. Like, we've seen some AD carries try to run Cole with Soraka, but obviously this is not the lane to do that.
No. So this is already just super bad for SKT. And because they have a Graves, instead of like an Elise or an Italy, like the amount of pressure you can put on the map is basically 0. You can see all 3 lanes are pushed up right now from SKT at 2 minutes, 45 seconds.
Was there any mid pick that would have saved? Because it was the last pick Fizz, which definitely doesn't help the comp as a melee champion and a skill matchup. I mean, was there any champion that like fixes the comp?
That's in Faker's pool right now.
Is there any mid lane champion with any sort of lane control against LeBlanc? There is. I mean, famously she's a strong laner, but
I think the real question is what happened to Lysandra this tournament. That's like a really interesting question that I have to ask.
did she get nerfed between 6.6 and 6.8? I don't think so.
I'm
No,
sure she did.
She doesn't get She doesn't get left.
I have
That is a strange
6.8
one.
notes on my screen right now. She didn't get nerfed.
And I didn't. She got not nerfed on 6.7 either. So just fell off a cliff.
And that's kind of weird. Yeah, because remember that Ryze and Azir were banned, so...
Yeah.
Who he played Lysandra. That's right. He did play one game.
Okay. But Faker has been playing a lot of Lysandra this year.
Rocks Tiger special.
Yeah, and the Rocks Tigers were... And it's a great teleport champion.
To be fair, Poppy, Sivir, Lysandra's like a famous trio of picks.
Yep.
And it's more wave clear. Strange.
And it's better engage. Oh, hello.
Ooh, do we have discount Doa?
Yeah!
Actually, people are saying, is Sarah, is that discount Smeb next time? Oh.
It comes from a place of
You
love.
know what? It's discount only because he's NA.
Honestly, being a poor man or discount Smeb's pretty fucking good.
I prefer to...
Still.
I don't call him discount Smeb. I call him Smeb on sale.
On sale.
Well, the skill matchup's not going so good.
Nice to meet you.
Achilles is here, everybody. We're going to chill for a bit. Stop saying unsafe environment, Twitch.
Wait, what's the fire code in here?
Are we violating fire codes,
I don't know.
guys?
Could be.
Crap.
You want a beer?
Yes. That's Monty's new safety phrase during sex is
Unsafe
environment.
environment.
Safety word.
Wei Xiao.
Wei Shan.
Wei Shan.
Wei Shan.
Wei Xiao. Wait.
He was pretty dangerous. So.
Guys, we're not abusing Seraph. Stop.
So, I mean, nothing's really happened yet, but this is going pretty much how we expected to go. That's an early roam here, so let's actually go back. So, pressure. So, they're going to see Graves on the top side of the map. Nidalee is going to see him right there. 2 pings go down on each of the junglers. So, at this point, because there's pressure in the mid lane, we're going to see a roam attempt come through here. Oh, wow, they flash into that? Going crazy.
2 hits on Sivir.
Where's Bang's spell shield?
I think he used it for the order.
Well, he should have used it.
Hasn't used it.
I think he actually did.
Well, maybe the animation is really small.
I think he actually did use spell shield.
When?
He's trying to stop the
No, it's 2
Bromstone.
seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second.
Oh, okay.
Still
yeah,
on cooldown.
You got it. Well, thank you, Riot, for selecting the Sivir.
Yeah, that was good.
Because,
it's available now.
Because there are no replays, so if you don't select the right champion, we actually don't know what's going on.
Oh, you sticky keyed.
Oh, no!
The sticky keys. I know you're excited, Monty, but calm down.
Gross.
But honestly, like, they get deep wards in. It's not actually a big deal that LeBlanc roamed. Oh, he missed his auto.
Yeah.
He missed his auto.
That's why he's still coming down.
Yeah, that's right, because he's in the air.
So he attack moved and missed his auto. Not that it matters, but he also missed his Q skill shot right there.
1, 2, 3.
That is such a shit Graves Q.
I'm Graves King.
It's true. So
He
he
is,
play the
he
top.
is Graves King.
NA Trace.
Yeah.
So basically, both teams are going to waste time. Now, Looper has his TP down, so the fact that he's chunked out and it's pushed up means that at least Duke gets a free buy right here. What do you think about Cull on top lane Trundle in this matchup, Seraph?
Cole? Cody boy.
Call?
The sick.
Well, I think maybe he doesn't enough money for buy Tiamat, so well, it's good. It's actually good because you can get more extra lifesteal, so it's gonna be more helpful. Like keep staying in lane.
And the on-hit
I think it's fine.
lifesteal is good
Yeah.
too, because he has an auto attack cancel, so he gets a lot of on-hit effects.
So, Seraph, in this matchup, if you were playing Trundle versus Poppy,
Yeah.
and there was a Nidalee on your team and a Graves on the enemy team, would you buy Cull?
No. If I
Well, okay.
well, it's Looper, so I have to accept it. What can I argue?
He's a world champion, you know.
Yeah.
Ah, the Soraka deep warding missions.
So slow. But easy when you see their top laner or their jungler up in the top side for the gank.
Oh, he has 2 points Q.
Interesting.
2 Q, 2 W.
It's actually very difficult for RNG to punish, especially once they hit level 6. It makes them incredibly hard to gank unless you're sending.
So MLXG is basically wrecking right now. Blue buff transfers, okay. So you'll notice, I actually really like the way MLXG played this game because he played very heavily around the Trundle pressure. So when we think about the win conditions from Royal, now one thing we didn't mention in the champ select is Royal can't fight 5v5s late game. Like that's not really an option for them.
I mean, they could get a pick.
They can get a pick, absolutely. But when we think about Graves late game versus Nidalee late game, or Poppy late game once she has QSS versus Trundle. Like, Poppy's going to do way more in these team fights. Fizz and LeBlanc are kind of equal, but Sivir with those ricochets once the Soraka gets going. So Royal has to make picks or split push in this game to win.
Or get a big dragon lead and force face checks.
Which they do. And also they split push really well in this game. I think Royal played really well in this game overall.
I mean, Lupa just big dicks them the whole game.
That he does.
The only thing I did catch of this game was watching like Lupa take 40 seconds to die to 2v1s and 3v1s. And sometimes get a kill.
I think there's a point where it takes 4.
No, it does. And they make some very bad decisions.
They lose like a bunch off that point.
But they have a pink ward in their tri-brush right now, so they know there's no dive coming. So we talk about duo lane decision making. So Nidalee's back at base. When was the last time they saw Nidalee? So there's a pink ward that goes down. They ping LeBlanc, but honestly, if the lane's pushed up and LeBlanc is in there, they know Nidalee's in there, even if they don't see her. So this is going to happen, and they're going to push forward, but because they know Nidalee is topside, they can turn around and at least trade with this. Those Soraka silence trades are so terrible.
You gotta do what you gotta do. The level 5 on Wolf. Oh no, ping 6.
So free dragon. Oh, this was interesting. So what we see here is that Blank actually has smite. So he comes into the jungle right now, gets his smite up, and he uses it on the large wolf camp immediately. Because he doesn't think that there's going to be any kind of jungle trade here. So when MLXG starts the dragon, he starts to pull it, but MLXG has the smite up just slightly sooner, about 10 seconds sooner than Blank does. So he pulls out the dragon, he wants to reset it. But Dragon goes... That's a really... What do you think about Dragon changing targets like that? Because that's really weird, actually.
It runs out of leashes pretty quickly. Like, they just get it before it releashes.
Right.
It just doesn't start healing.
Unlucky.
Yeah. No smite for Blank, right? So he tried to do what he could, but he couldn't actually get it.
Oh, okay.
Just wait, Seraph. I want your reaction to this play that's about to happen.
Alright.
I mean, I really feel bad for Duke because, like, it's not actually Duke's first. I mean, like, to be honest, get solo kill is top laner's fault, but like the whole team makes him get solo kill. I mean, like, they are losing their bottom lane too, so they like RNG really know their strategy. So they really know well their win condition. The best win condition is like let Trundle fed and he just can whatever he wants. Like, so they just keep going top, and their bottom matchup is automatically winning if they find the Graves. So but already Trundle is winning Poppy as 1v1, so he always makes big wave and called Nidalee. So if Graves not coming top, Poppy's gonna lose turret, or he's just gonna lose 20 CS. So they always force the Graves moving top, so their bottom is automatically winning. But the thing is, even though Graves is coming top, they cannot do anything. They're gonna share XP or losing turret's HP. But they even so if they trading the like jungle side, so Graves coming bottom, they cannot do anything with Soraka. So that's the problem.
And you're so spoiled as Nidalee because you can either gank the snowball lane in mid or snowball off the winning lane match up top.
So you would say, Seraph, that's a very good explanation. So you would say that this is a bad draft.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we all agree on that.
Yay!
So, because this draft doesn't make it possible for Duke to do well.
Yeah.
Because it is too many losing lanes, and therefore, and then also Nidalee versus Graves, very hard to control the jungle. So it's a good draft from Royal, I think. But yeah, that's a very good explanation.
And that's just bad communication. I mean,
mean, Duke had burnt the ultimate, no flash, not even like, there's no way you get out of that, and he stays in the lane. Teleport would have been available if he had just backed off and recalled.
That feel when you win lane with Cole. Happy times.
Well, he got first blood. He's 25 CS up,
And he's gonna get Cole payout.
and he's gonna get cold payout. So this troll is so rich right now.
He's got the shades on for sure. He's having fun.
Whoa.
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 Oh, sorry. No, I
Whoa.
saw something in chat that made me go, whoa.
And he got herald. Oh my god. That's disaster. GG. AFK.
AFK. Open mid.
Yeah,
mid.
open top.
So what we're gonna see. By the way,
Where is he, guys?
Oh.
no, he should have flashed.
Huh.
If he flashes during his E, he gets that kill.
Well, the damage registers.
Does it?
Yeah. Yeah, the damage
Oh, it did
registered.
register. You're right.
The dot's not enough damage.
So super close.
That's actually pretty... Because it was bigger than the graphic.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know about that. You see the fizz E?
If you watch, like... It's like outside the radius. Or maybe LeBlanc is thicker than she looks. She's been piling on some pounds.
She's a thick woman.
If you look, like...
There's nothing wrong with thick women.
Yeah.
It kind of comes in. He gets pushed into it by
Just
the shark a little
about,
bit.
but not much.
The circles very lightly
watching
overlap
it.
here.
Oof.
Yeah, okay, maybe just
Yeah,
clips
yeah.
it.
It's that little shockwave that comes out from him.
I muted the VOD. Whoops. Still a nice win, and the fact that Faker is winning this matchup in terms of CS is actually quite impressive.
With, again, no jungle help.
And Nidalee in his top jungle the entire time, and pressure, so Faker's pretty good at the video games.
Abyssal Rush is interesting. I guess you need it to get through the LeBlanc lane.
Yeah, I would think that would be a natural starting item.
I just would have thought like Negatron Sheen maybe, but that's Abyssal's fine as well. Because like Fizz has a lot of mana problems. But that should be okay.
I actually hate the Ravenous Hydra on Trundle. I think he has enough sustain with the Titanic and is just better in most situations plus escape. But
Alright, so Jat said he hates the Ravenous Hydra on Trundle. If you were a Trundle player, do you prefer Ravenous or Titanic Hydra?
After the Titanic nerfs, of course.
Yeah.
Because Titanic was by far the best choice before.
Titanic is like standard, but in this case, Thunder is winning so hard, so I think he just keep focusing the winning the 1v1 puppy. So I think that's why he buy the lifesteal.
Okay, so you think it's depends on the situation.
Because it lets him proxy harder as well, because he can just like dirty farm and heal it all up as well. So. And significantly more AD, so better at taking turrets.
Yeah, I see it.
I actually think Titanic Hydra is super overcosted at the moment, so I'm not a big fan of it.
Or maybe just by Tiamat and building all tank and sell it later, like kind of old Renekton doing that.
Okay.
Because one of the biggest reason is why by Tiamat is Trundle has really like low push skills.
Yeah.
So
lane control.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive that Civ is up in CS, but there is that tipping point where if you ever exit lane, you're losing at least half a minion wave, even if you time it well, because Civ has auto push.
without ganks, Soraka's the great equalizer in lane. Like especially Soraka's Sivir. They're just going to continue to shove out, even if you take a little bit of poke wire curve.
Twitch chat wants you to talk more, Sarah. They want your deep insight
I'll keep asking
and
questions.
knowledge.
Well, we're going to see more top... This is actually a really good game to have Seraph on, because it's like... This game is totally determined by the top lane matchup, so... I mean, what can Duke do right here, right? He doesn't even have any items.
Make a sick TP play.
So, Seraph, let's ask. If this was you, and you were in this game, and you were playing Poppy, if you're Duke, what would you do in this situation because you know you're losing lane. So you gave up first blood, right? So you're at this point where Looper, the Trundle, is 2 levels up, and you have TP though. So what would you do here? Would you be asking your teammates to gank a different lane? Would you be trying just to farm next to your tier 2 turret? What would you be asking for?
I think the best thing is, so SKT's benefit is they have double TP. So, but Trundle is really like, Trundle has more like impact when they use both TP on bottom. So I think they try to make a skirmish. So they using the TP and make Trundle use TP too. So they can cancel or something or just back, and then Fizz can TP alone. So
Okay.
Yeah.
So the best case scenario is like baiting out the Trundle TP.
And trying to keep holding Trundle as top, or just they can give up the top tier 2 and they dive bottom and take 2 kills with the turret.
Okay. So what you would say is that you would be telling your Sivir and Soraka to maybe go back all the way to their tier 1 turret and put a ward maybe in the bush in the lane so that you could force TP cancel.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. And then you make a play with the Fizz later on. Because the Fizz is doing well.
Yeah.
So you have to think, okay, well, maybe I'm not doing so well. Now I'm down 40 CS at a kill. But Fizz is okay. So if I can trade TPs, that is a win. And then we could use Fizz TP to come down into the bottom lane. I like it. That's not going to happen.
It doesn't.
No.
Cole is almost done stacking. He's got 2 left, and he's crushing this.
And now they need to get the deep wards if he wants to pressure turret number 2. Or we'll see RNG abandon the top lane and try and use the 2
When you're asking him what they should do, everybody said they should have just forfeited.
Well, it's not 20 minutes yet, so they can't forfeit. So sorry.
Oh, open mid, sorry.
Serves that open top.
Top. Achilles has been playing on Korean solo queue these days.
I had an open mid game earlier today.
Nice.
I was on like the receiving end of them opening mid, so it was very good. Close to bought Moby boots.
Nice.
And then ran down mid about 7 times. It was wonderful.
God bless you, League of Legends.
Yeah, never change. But please do. Quickly.
So right now, you think this is a good time? Because, like, okay, let's take a look at this. So right now we see on the mini-map that Trundle doesn't have any pressure, right? So you see him?
Yep.
And you see bottom side, they're back here. And there's a ward. There's a ward right here. I think there's a ward right there, too.
Can't tell.
Yes, there is. Anyway, you have 2 wards. And Faker has pressure on the mid lane, and they see the Nidalee. So is this the time that you would make this play?
Soraka is basing, I guess. Cause
She doesn't need to, though. She has everything up.
But you're just trying to bait the TP.
yeah.
Right? You're not trying to actually TP. And if you
maybe.
try and TP here, and if the Trundle doesn't TP,
Yeah.
We'll get to the donations later, guys.
God damn it.
we'll get to the donations later. But anyway, if the Trundle doesn't TP, then you have the 2v2 with top and AD carry,
And Sivir.
and Soraka still has flash.
Yeah.
So Soraka still has flash, so she could just flash over this wall, right? You got plenty of mana and HP. Items aren't too bad. So would you think you would make a play now?
Yeah, I think that's the best timing, I guess. Because there is not much risk, because they always show Nidalee at mid. Yeah,
Cool.
I think it's good.
But LeBlanc is here, so it's hard.
But the like their plan is like just forcing the TP,
Uh-oh.
so it should be fine, I guess.
Gets away from the chains. That could have been a flash force that landed.
Absolutely, he'd already used the play for Trickster. That's actually my favorite, most annoying Nidalee gank. You walk into the lane with red buff and auto attack, and it's so effective because you have to use an escape spell against it.
And look, even though the gank in the bottom lane wasn't successful, what it
So MLXG's playing smart.
blank down there, all of a sudden, Luke
He was covering mid while LeBlanc was trying to roam. Then he goes to the top side, takes the red buff, Blank is wasting a lot of time right now.
I mean, LXG's pathing this tournament's been really impressive.
Yeah, it's not so good in the other games of the series, but you'll see.
Well,
So let's talk about this. What information did they know? So, Poppy's pushed up to tier 2 turret. They knew that Nidalee went into the topside jungle. And now they're going to walk in. He smokescreened the brush. And they have a very good idea that Nidalee is in topside while Poppy is farming. So there's the
Mimic
LeBlanc.
Distortion.
Well, it was Mimic Sigil.
I mean, Sigil, but he uses Mimic and his Distortion.
Yeah. So Mimic Sigil. So you know that LeBlanc ult is down. You know she doesn't have Flash. And there are pings you can see on Nidalee and Trundle in the top side. Because, hold on, this is how you know this stuff. So you see there was a ward.
Yep. They have
So
vision.
they put a ward in that brush. Right? So Xiaohu is here. And they go to clear that ward. So they know exactly where Nidalee is. Now the ult is out from LeBlanc. They know LeBlanc doesn't have Flash. And they know where Nidalee is.
8-second cooldown for Distortion as well.
Yep. So this is a really good play from SKT. And
It's clutch.
that's what really good teams do right there. Now, MLXG, though, gets there and makes the play, though, right? So this was actually a good play on both sides. So here's a question. Why didn't Faker flash?
Let's watch and see when he could have flashed. Couldn't flash yet. Doesn't do anything. He needs to flash over the thick wall. He's not close enough to the wall yet. And then he doesn't have
Okay, so the reason why is because Looper and MLXG both flashed right there. So Looper had to flash Pillar. If we watch that. So first flash.
Flashes the EQ damage to kill him.
Yep.
Can't flash here.
Well, it was a flash Pillar.
Yeah.
So Faker's waiting, decides not to flash in the end because he's going to die anyway at this point. But he did blow 2 summoners for it. So actually they blew 3 summoners. So they traded 1 for 1, mid for mid. But they got 2 flashes and an ignite out of it, and
For
they
nothing.
didn't. They had to use nothing. But this is a huge problem.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Trundle with Ravenous Hydra, Carl.
So it ends up in favor of Royal.
Worth knowing
And
that Poppy got a lot of farm in this time.
yeah. So Duke also uses TP there for no reason.
You know, top laners, like when my teammate's dying, I wanna try to save him, but you should ignore it. Like you should keep saving your TP. But I know I wanna like Duke said, I wanna save Faker, but
Nope.
nope.
Duke's TPs are really bad this game, Sarah.
Yeah.
Do you think you could do better than him, Sarah?
How would you do on SKT?
Okay.
SKT Seraph?
I don't know.
Well, delete that.
Shit.
Karma said it was... Never mind.
So this dragon problem is absolutely huge too, right? You take out the mid turret, you get the pressure. And again, SKT has such limited engage that as long as Royal is stacking these dragons because they can push out the mid wave, like it's just absolutely horrible. But SKT is at fault for this composition. Like you just here you have the following choices. So I don't really know what Como is doing because if you pick Graves, you need a wave clear mid, especially against Nidalee, so that Graves can farm into the late game. You can either play this composition with Elise in the jungle, or you can play this composition with Graves in the jungle and a wave clear mid laner. You can't do both of these things.
Maybe the idea was to swap super early.
Well, obviously a lane swap would have been fantastic for them.
No, I mean like swap Fizz into a side lane super early.
How does Fizz do against Trundle 1v1?
There is no way Fizz can win it.
Great.
If-
So no.
Especially he has TP.
that settles that.
Well, if
Theoretically, you could have Poppy
if
against
if Fizz
Trundle.
has Ignite and if Fizz has like 5-0, yes he can, but right now it's like
So you would be happy if you saw Fizz and you were playing Trundle.
if Fizz is like that and I really fed like that. Because when I play Trundle, most threat is like Ignite, because Trundle is a million lifesteal and ulti, but this time Fizz is nothing. Even he doesn't have mono.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So they're already basically 4.5k behind. So it's a pretty huge issue that they've got right now. Faker's building Lichbane second, which is what you would expect, but also going to be problematic. And at this point, like, the game is pretty much over right now. Royal has to make huge mistakes. And I say this knowing full well that there are 20 minutes left in this game.
Do.
Pile on, quick.
So that was a Graves ult from downtown, a Soraka ult, and
They used
2.5
four
people.
ults.
Got him!
And he almost
I was watching this earlier and I was literally yelling, "You used 4 ults for a gank."
Worth.
Meanwhile, in
I was
the
like
top
sitting, I
lane-
was like, "Oh my god, they used 4 ults." It's like not worth. And the itemization for Looper is so good because if Faker goes up there, he has a cowl, and that's all he needs against Fizz and Poppy. So he's in a fantastic place. So SKT, MLXG again, in the right place. He's now taken mid and bottom turret with his Nidalee based on pressure advantages. MLXG is playing really well this game. Duke is a dumpster fire.
That might be too much credit.
I feel bad for dumpster fires.
I'm gonna flip out on Riot's production for a second. Are you waiting? So you guys can't see this because our cam is in front of it because
Yeah.
we're more important. But let's.
You can move your cam.
I will.
CLG
move it.
watching on.
What is this? So one thing that really tilted me today about Riot Production is that they had an interview with, I think it was Afro and Darshan. Sorry, I called him Zion. And the first question was, "How do you think you're going to do tomorrow?" After like game 2 of the series, I was like, can you just save that for after the broadcast? Now, I am interested in the CLG players' opinions about this series.
Sure.
But you don't ask them questions about tomorrow in the middle of a best of 5 because it just takes, like...
But tomorrow's the main event.
I don't...
CLG's playing. And
I think it's incredibly biased production, and I really don't like it. If you want to ask experts, like we are asking Seraph right here, about the game at hand, that's totally cool. Like, I would love to hear Afro and Darshan's opinion. And to their credit, they did give it during that interview. But the first question was, how do you feel about the game tomorrow? Have that during the breakdown segment. Talk to them about the game tomorrow as the game ends. Don't take the wind out of the sails of a best of 5 that's currently happening. Just really made me frustrated. It takes away from the hype of the series at hand, and it makes it seem like, if you ask that first, it makes it seem like the main event is tomorrow.
You gotta turn the pages of the script, man. Just gotta keep it going.
You're right. You're not wrong, but...
Look, how many times have I had the opportunity to ask this? Like, think about that. Like, they're
I know,
really
but there's
upset.
a time and place. Just like, okay, let's reverse this statement. And just like, okay, so CLG Flash Wolves is first this week, right? And they have an interview with the SKT players, and they're like, what about your match tomorrow? I would still be just as mad because I think it's crap way to produce a best of 5.
It just takes it away from.
Yeah, it takes.
these guys.
We need to focus on this game right now, and absolutely have experts, have pro players talk about the game. But the first question should not be, "Hey, what about that match that hasn't happened yet?" Fuck that shit.
Wait, I didn't understand why they brought on Imp today either. It was just like, oh,
Because
Imp.
Mata was playing.
No, that's valid, right?
I mean, no, the questions asked were okay. His answers were just basically like, "We love LPL. I'm here to cheer for China." Like, that was it.
And then he walked off stage and received his briefcase full of money.
Yes, okay.
And a couple of
Fair enough.
shirts.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I just think that the production today was a little not on track with the action that was going on. It's my opinion. And before everybody says, "Oh, Monty says that Riot production sucks," no, I think Riot production is excellent. This is me just critiquing production because we work in this industry and like we have knowledge about how production operates. If I had been part of this broadcast, I would have told the producers that I thought it was crap and made them change it, or attempted to at the very least.
Only go for fights where they have full knowledge of the enemy team, whereas RNG is willing to play by instinct and go in sometimes without full vision.
How about going in under a turret with 3 people behind him, Looper taking up the damage and doesn't even care because look at this.
So let's talk about what they're doing right now. What I love, and I'm sure Seraph loves about this too, is that they play around the trundle the entire game. They know what their win condition is. It's the 50 CS ahead 2-kill trundle. It's the split push. So we see everybody fighting over vision on this top side. We skip forward 10 seconds. And they immediately then roam bottom side. And because they have so much pressure right now, they're able to clear out the wards. They're walking up right now into the turret. They go through the turret right now. Looper uses his ult right now just to bully out the Poppy to make sure there's damage there with Xiaohu, with Mata. 5 manning the bottom turret, just taking objective after objective. It's really strong team play. Seraph would love to be on this team.
Yeah. They don't get cut. And they're using so much resource for the high priority picks.
Yep. So I really like the way Royal played this game because it's really easy to blame Duke in this scenario and say, oh, Duke was shit. And like he made bad TPs and he gave up the first blood and he didn't play well, which is all true. But snowballing that into a victory and an entire team playing around that advantage is really nice to watch, and it's like a high skill teamwork move. Because they could have easily, like, in a different scenario, Looper could have gotten that first blood advantage, and the rest of his team could have done nothing about it. But MLXG and Looper play really, really, really well around that advantage, and they keep getting the vision, they keep taking turrets. As a team, it's beautiful teamwork. So this game actually makes Duke look like he made more mistakes than he did. And Duke made a lot of mistakes in this game, don't get me wrong, but they punish it super well. So they have a ward right here.
Yep.
As you can see, so the setup for this play is Nidalee goes right there, they ping her immediately, and Faker just flashes onto her, so bit of a mistake around vision. And they force Looper's TP too.
Ooh.
Sokka was full of HP. All of the HP. She does a one rotation.
Straight out
Wait
of
for
the
it.
bush.
Yeah.
There's already the second Q in flight right there. You can see both Qs at the same time.
Again, Xiaohu always mimics Sigil.
Yep.
And Faker always tries to mimic Distortion.
Yeah, we talked about that in our other VOD reviews.
Guaranteed damage.
Boom. It's good.
As Duke, I was going to say, has Duke completed a teleport to a skirmish or a team fight? He hasn't, right?
No. He plays like a trash can this game, man.
I mean, his teleports were always poor.
Trash can on fire.
Like, Duke has always been one of the celebrated top laners from Korea, like next to Someday, next to Smab, but his greatest deficiency has always been teleport play.
Oh, this one.
Where's the Yakety Sax music?
This is so bad.
Where's the Yakety Sax music, Monty? Play it!
I'm just gonna watch Sarah's face during this.
Watch it, Seraph. You're Duke in this. Remember, you roleplay as Duke. How do you feel right now?
You used your flash to not get
Yeah,
stunned.
first right here was what the fuck? And they were so unlucky. And
Unlucky.
Yeah.
Instead of flashing up in
Top laner language, unlucky.
and then
gonna get him!
You can just see from the way that he's clutching the pillow, he's just like, God damn it!
If this was Scream and Insta pause, then GG.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but it was 100% GG in this game too.
Yeah, this made it.
This is.
Wait. Can we just see where I want to? So go back to when this starts. Where
It
is
starts-
MXG when this starts? Because remember, he gets to
Kill.
They need to kill, but
They invested so much into this.
Uh,
Also, Mata makes it up from Dragon.
yeah.
And then the Trundle, out of all champions, gets a fucking double kill. At this point, I was like, well, this is over now. Officially over.
The map take down Baron. You had 4 members on that side. Wearing Dragon 3 flashes, ults fade, still trying to run
So the reason why SKT goes for this is because they know they're doing Dragon, right? And they know MLXG's dead, so they know Looper's alone. But Looper is way too far ahead at this point.
SKT made the right decision, but the problem is Luka's too strong.
Well, what I don't understand, why did Faker come back in?
Because they needed to get this kill.
they need to kill, but
They invested so much into this.
Uh,
Also, Mata makes it up from Dragon.
yeah.
And then the Trundle, out of all champions, gets a fucking double kill. At this point, I was like, well, this is over now. Officially over.
the map take down Baron. You had 4 members on that side. Instead, they commit to this 1-3-1 structure.
7,000 gold. What is amazing, though, is that SKT actually stays in this game for another 15 minutes.
I mean, you could say that about every RNG SKT series, though.
Yeah. Which is important. So, you know what's interesting, Papa, is, you know, we both predicted the SKT 3-1. But when I saw this game, I knew SKT was going to win this series. Because...
Strong words.
No. Because when Royal gets ahead, they don't play well ahead, and SKT plays well from behind. And I know when SKT gets ahead, they don't give up leads.
Sure, but like, let's say I polled you after this game. Would you have still said
Yes.
SKT 3-1?
Yes.
You wouldn't have even moved
Yes.
to 3-2?
No. I 100% thought that after this game.
I mean, you can't expect SKT to draft as abjectly questionably as this game.
I thought so. There were two things I thought of after this game. They were going to draft better, number one, because I know Coma, and
draft worse.
you can't really draft worse. And also, even with a shit draft, they still played really, really well from behind, and they still made this a competitive game because they're 8K gold down. Again, I told you this game lasts another 15 minutes. They have no right being in this game.
And as Seraph was saying, they're making the right moves. They're just inappropriate because they're so far behind. In another game where they were even gold, they'd at least be trading where they shouldn't have
Yeah.
a right to.
Yeah. But also, you have to think about that play. What SKT should have been doing is...
That's a cool strat. It's a cool stat, by the way. RNG would literally average 6
Yeah, that's really
gold
cool.
lead at 25 minutes.
What they should have been doing, though, is waiting for the 5v5 team fight. Because this team that SKT has can fight from 5k down.
But how do you get through laning phase to late game?
No,
even?
I totally agree. But
Like, what does that look like? That's
But-
RNG misplaying.
my point is, you don't go for those ganks. You go for just farming.
and play more of a control-focused game because, believe it or not, this year for SKT, that's
Whenever SKT has tried to make a play, and even when they got the kill on top lane, they lost mid lane turret. And what they should have just done is just like refuse to fight at all. Even with the early dragon from Royal, like you basically refuse to fight until 5th dragon, and maybe you take like a 3 to 4k deficit. You roll the dice, but you don't do what they're doing, which is playing too aggressively with the deficit.
course after game 1. They don't say, we played it bad, played the same champ select. I've seen that sometimes. It's never pretty. And this time around, SKT might actually change. They've got them. They can turn something around here.
I'm also getting ahead of myself.
This is actually a big turnaround.
SKT with the Sivir, they know how to stall, and we're only
So, let's take stock of the situation. You have the Poppy up here in the top side, and you have some form of pressure because you're already missing the 2 turrets. And then you have Mata walking up in this side, and in the bottom side you have LeBlanc pushing, but she's not going to take an inhibitor turret right now.
Can I just say that, look at RNG's vision, it's beautiful. They have double pinks on the top side, perfect vision on the bottom side, a pink as aggressively as enemy blue. They have so much vision control.
But they don't have double TP.
They don't. That's true.
So that's why this situation is so good for SKT. Because Duke right now, he's free to TP. Faker is free to TP. Mata is too far forward. Because they have pressure on one lane, they're going to be able to make this play.
It's good lane ward as well.
Also, Braum ult is wasted.
Yeah.
Let's actually slow this down.
What is he ult?
The old spell shield.
Optimistic?
Because he aimed it wrong, number one. And then look at the TP coming in from Faker right here. Duke is still fucking late, by the way.
Yeah,
He's really
he should have used it right now.
How did he not?
Now he starts.
How did he just find a spot to TP? Die, Lupa, die.
But see, LeBlanc gets here so late. Like, LeBlanc has to run all the way. So, SKT does a really good job of playing around double TP right here.
Yeah.
And that Poppy ult was super good.
Yeah, that whoosh right out.
So there's Whoosh. Let's watch it. Sniped.
They're actually lucky LeBlanc didn't get hit by that, too.
He was almost splitting the distance. He was going to get one of them,
Yep.
for sure.
So this is actually why SKT stays in this game for so long, because trading 2 for 1 at this point, when you're 8,000 gold down, is super good. So they used double TP properly. And this is like the point in the game where I was like, SKT's going to win this series. Because the setup was so much better. And Royal had the incorrect lane assignments. They were pushing too deep. And they made an entirely wrong decision. Because why do you need to push that deep in the bottom lane? Because the question when you... Here, hold on. Let's look at the situation that started all this. So Xiaohu sees Faker. Xiaohu's going to push up. Uses Mimic.
Has Nidalee in his pocket.
Has Nidalee in his pocket. But what is Xiaohu going to do? Is he going to take an inhibitor turret?
No.
No. So why is he here?
Well, Dragon's not even spawning, so that's the kind of the weird thing. Is if there was a minute to Dragon, this is exactly what you want to do.
Meanwhile, what do they got in mid lane? If we actually look at this, they have SKT has a bunch of people pushing up, and you have an opportunity to literally walk through the jungle. Look how warded this is. You and Nidalee can go here and kill these motherfuckers right now. But they don't. They don't do that. They instead play into the hands of SKT's double TP. You don't have kill pressure on Fizz right now. He's got Negatron and Playful Trickster. So they're able to take the mid lane turret off of this. Oh no, they're not. So that's actually good for Royal, is that they push them off the mid turret. Right? It's hard to see. No, it dies. Okay, they get the turret. So that's a pretty big gold swing right there. And actually, what frustrated me about this is I think if you're Royal, you take Baron right now. So let's talk about Royal's situation. They're all chunked down to 50%. They don't have TPs. Your top laner's coming up in 25 seconds. Your support comes up now. Everybody's recalling. MLXG is running through. He delays 2 recalls from Duke and Wolf. For me, this is where you start the Baron.
I mean, the issue is who's going to tank it. Braum isn't even there yet.
Braum will be there in 5 seconds.
Braum is also not the best at tanking Baron. If Trundle was there, for sure, because Trundle can tank it forever.
Trundle will be up to TP in 5 seconds.
Well, they start it, but Braum is like running to mid, so they're clearly not serious about starting it.
But what? They have 3 people with 50% HP.
They don't have a pink ward for it either.
I still think you start it.
Braum has the pink ward.
Without TP, I still think you start it.
I have a question to ask you, Seraph, as a top planer. So teleport's obviously like the big thing for top planers. Are there players who are good at teleport, or is it about teams communicating when to teleport? Are there some people that you could put in 5 different teams and they pull off sick teleports in every team, or is it all about team communication for teleport? Like, is it a personal skill for the top laner, or is it the team? Like, because I think the big thing is Looper. People say, you know, he's on Masters 3, his teleports look crap, he's back with Marta, suddenly his teleports are amazing, so they just give all the credit to Marta. Like, where does the credit lie? Who takes credit for teleport plays, do you think?
I don't know about the other top laners, but as me, I always like decide the TP timing as myself.
So for at least for your sake, it's always been...
Yeah, but if my team asks to really like hard, like I need a TP right now like that, so I have to use it. But except the other case, I just use myself.
Okay.
Because especially late game TP is really important. Because if I like just blow TP, they're gonna take a free Baron.
Exactly.
So, building up the wave and bot actually gets a free turret for SKT. And so you have to remember, this is going to be the fight for Dragon 4. So I think SKT plays this really well. So they forced Looper's teleport. Remember, it's Dragon 4 coming up in 25 seconds. They have a huge minion wave in the bottom side.
Can you show me the Fizz ult again? Is this a super shallow ult, or is that max range when he casts it?
We'll see.
It's like a pretty... Well...
He flashed while he was casting.
I feel like it ended up being shallow.
It seemed like it.
So let's see when it actually casts. There.
Yeah, so it was.
No, that's pretty
right.
much max range, but...
But SKT does better in this fight overall. And they have the better 5v5.
I mean, if Graves and Poppy are in the front, Soraka does a lot of work in these fights.
Yep. So they get the free turret actually due to the minion wave. They clear out some of the vision. And I think SKT plays very well around the fact that they have a massive deficit. And they're trying to chip them out while they force the... Oh. Yeah, Bang has to flash from the pillar. But still, there's an HP advantage for SKT right here. Plus, with the constant Soraka heals, the longer SKT can force fights like this, the better it is for them.
Yeah.
These poke wars with the Soraka are super good. I think they're too cautious on this. I think SKT still wins this team fight, but they play way too far back.
With the ults down especially, like Marta and Whoosh don't have ults.
Yeah, I think SKT misplays the advantage that they have, because if we look at the actual HP across the Royal, they're in a huge advantage right now. They're just afraid to face check the brush.
Double pinks.
Yeah. So good vision control from Royal to force this, but also... What is hashtag own the rift?
I don't even have a good joke.
I don't even know what that is, but okay.
I mean, I know that they say, like, an RNG owns the rift because they have the most icons.
Right. That's what it's about.
But why would you hashtag it? What are you saying, like, yeah, RNG does hashtag own the rift.
I don't even know why you would have hashtags in an event in China where Twitter is blocked, but what do I know?
It's on Weibo. Okay.
They're not on Weibo. Otherwise, China would definitely win everything.
Yep.
Have you seen those fan votes that are open internationally? Like, instantly 90% advantage to the Chinese player or team.
So, this game still is going to be a slow bleed out for SKT. We're just going to skip forward.
They just can't do anything.
They can't do anything with this composition. And now that there's Dragon 4, they can't control Baron. They don't have adequate engage. They can't stop them from doing another Dragon. They need to get the Dragon advantage early. They're not going to get it. SKT is they're doing their best to control vision, but what are you going to do, really? In fact, I think SKT's best option here is to try and take top tier 1 and then just force a Baron fight, because what else are you going to do? That's the Hail Mary play.
Real care of 420 Trundle.
Or 20 Trundle. He has a prescription, you know. I'm from Colorado, so you don't actually need a prescription.
I don't know if that prescription is legal in China, just to be clear.
This is the one game that went to like 45 minutes, right?
40.
40.
But SKT is playing this right. Their one hope is to like force a face check around the Baron before the 5th dragon comes up.
So you're saying, you know, we've been very SKT focused in our narrative. Have RNG played this
Yes.
poorly? We've
No,
noted.
they played it really well.
We noted the split push thing, but so like we noted one thing where RNG could have used their pinks on the red side instead of going for an inhibitor turret to come through. But otherwise, have they played it well?
Yeah, they played around the Trundle really well.
So
If you
why
had an
is it-
advantage in lane surf, would you be happy with the way Royal played?
They play perfectly.
Yeah,
think.
I think they
to.
played really well. I mean, this is just a nightmare at this point. Because let's talk about how this gets set up. So Soraka gets chunked out. Faker should have blue ward. Blue trinket. But they only have one blue trinket and they use it, and that's it. Like, if you only have one blue trinket in this situation and your support is recalling, like, what are you honestly going to do about this? You have to face check it. They're going to try and flash over with Xiao. Flash Ignite is used. Okay, so Blank does a good job of escaping and slowing down that Baron. But what are they doing right now? Like,
Poppy's farming. Doody doo doo.
I mean-
Get another wave.
this is really terrible team play from Duke. You should not be farming right now. You actually lucked out because you got LeBlanc both summoners down, and Blank didn't have to use a summoner at all. He just used his ult.
The crazy thing is, like, obviously the new Baron was the objective. There's actually good home guard teleport wards available
Yeah,
to, like,
absolutely.
wall slam one into the Baron, but he, like, is still farming.
And they have the 5v5 team composition advantage.
But 2 people are dead before he... Well, the most important person is dead, and he can't... Did he cancel his TP? And he didn't.
No, he's right there. He actually ulted
Yeah.
Looper out of that fight.
Rip.
But, I mean, this is it at this point.
So the reason why it's egregious from Duke, sorry, is that Duke needs to be at the front to face check for vision, for Soraka to be able to put down wards, or for anyone to be able to put down any vision. Like, he is the only person tanky to frontline for vision. So if he's late, then their team comp gives up every objective,
Yeah.
which includes Baron and the game.
Well, I mean, at this point, I don't even know if we're going to review the rest of it, because it's pretty much rote.
Well, I mean, we're talking about
They get the mid inhibitor, then they're going to come back.
10,000 gold lead.
10,000 gold lead. They're going to take all the rest of the inhibitors. There goes another inhibitor. And they get 3 inhibitors. They get back. They actually lose 2 right here, so maybe we should talk about that. But it doesn't actually matter. They get 1 Nexus turret, and they overcommit just a little bit. But again, they have 5 dragons. There isn't a Baron coming up. It really doesn't matter if they lose 2 people, if 2 people die right here. Because they got the inhibitor turret and they got all 3 inhibitors. Or the Nexus turret and all 3 inhibitors. So there's no way for SKT to actually take an advantage right now. And that's actually a replay. So they're going to come back once they respawn. And just methodically do this all again. Now they're more cautious. Looper has his GA. They're pushing all the minion waves in, making sure they get the double supers into the last Nexus turret.
Brute force go.
It's not really brute force. This was the other part where I thought SKT would win, because they actually do a surprisingly good job of defending in this situation in team fighting.
I mean, again, kiting backwards around an objective, in this case of their Nexus, is the win condition for this comp.
Right.
It's just they can never get this fight unless it's at their own Nexus, right?
Yeah. Faker has to go back to the Nexus right now. Duke's going to TP in and try and slam Looper into... I mean, he ults Looper out because he's the tanky one, but...
That's a lot of super minions.
It's a lot of super minions. And look, he pushes him back out again, but Looper he just doesn't take damage, and he has the Tiamat and the Iceborne, so that's it.
Well, can you go back for a second?
Sure.
Go back to when he gets ulted away. Look at his health when he gets ulted away. So he comes in. Watch his health bar. His health bar from the W and his passive heals him up to full before the game ends.
Well, it healed him up to 3/4 right there.
No, like he's full HP by the time
I
he
know.
gets back to the minion because of the minions dying.
And the Spirit Visage.
Trundle passive is hilarious.
Well, this is the game I wanted to watch with you, Seraph. What did you think about top lanes in this game? Because this is like the big top lane discrepancy game. There's a big difference between the top laners.
I love RNG.
Would you play? All right, best team. All right,
Best team.
But they lose this series. But you still like to be there, right? They
Yeah.
play around the top laner super well. I think Royal, like Duke, made a lot of mistakes. The TPs were bad. The lane didn't go well. He made mistakes. But you have to credit Royal for snowballing off those mistakes too. It's not like Duke made mistakes they didn't play right. I think MLXG and Looper played together super well to take.
And rotating around a winning lane isn't something people do, because Trundle's known as the, like, I'll ignore Maokai and take turrets, but actually being smart enough to rotate around and snowballing the gold lead massively in the mid game is what won them the game to a great degree.
I wish everyone. I hope like the viewers doesn't blaming Duke, because it's really difficult to making a right decision when especially when you're losing the lane, or like your team is losing, because you stuck at your mind that I have to do some things, because if the games keep going, you're gonna probably lose because you already lose, so you have to like change the game. But so it's really hard to make a decision.
It's okay. We don't blame Duke. We blame Koma for his shit draft. I blame Koma for this game personally. I mean, Duke didn't play well, but like ultimately, he was set up to lose.
But
basically.
any top laner, like, once you get counterpicked, like, think of Smeb. Like, we've seen games where Smeb just abandons lane and tries to make ganks around the map, and if he can't, they lose. But that's all you can do, is you've got a champion that can teleport, wall stun, knock people up. You make plays, otherwise you'll just lose anyway. So
You still have to give it your best, basically, and try to make those plays.
it's not going to be in lane to the Trundle that's 2 levels higher than you. Yeah. And his cult cashed in.
All right.